can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. It's too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. Too easy. It's too easy. I've been there, done it, seen it. Boy, all that like Keenan. Still got crack, they fiendin'. Flow still hot like Phoenix. Shine so bright, I'm gleaming. This off top, I'm tweaking. Fresh out the rat like Neiman. And I'm still tryna fight my demons. But we all gotta act like Tina. That's why I gotta ride with the Nina. Outside, it's a war going on. Make me put my hands on my head like the Macarena. They want you walking on board like Kima. Ain't give a F to you like John Cena. Putting blood on the brand new Beamer. Tryna earn 8 stripes like Adidas. You get cold when you ride with the heater. It'll turn you to a dog like a Akita. And expose to a cat like a cheetah. They smoke my partner like reefer. Dímelo porque o no entiendo, mi gente must really need Jesus. They shed real blood, I never seen the crypt and I believe it. It's too easy. Too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. Too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. Too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. Too easy. It's too easy. I've been there, done it, seen it. Y'all just talk, don't live it. And just took that route, that seen it. Now I'm so outspoken like Reason. Jimmy Neutron boy, young G's. And I'm a self-made man out of Sweden. And it's still off top, I'm tweaking. But I still gotta fight my demons. I ain't no good, I'm evil. I ain't been clean since Eden.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the WAG show. This is episode 44. I am your host, Ben Hostler. We are here to talk about today's best bets for Thursday, April 13th. Not a lot going on today. No basketball. Little day off of basketball until Friday night. And not a big MLB slate either. We only have, I think, 5 or 6 games tonight. Let me look here. Yeah, 5 games tonight. So not much going on. It'll be a quicker stream. If you guys have any questions on anything, I will answer. If you have any specific prop questions, we can talk about that. Yesterday for me was a down day betting. I think I was 1-3, 1-4, which sucks after a huge day when you go up 8 units and you have a losing day. But we always bounce back. The last 2 days after losing days, we went up almost 4 units and then up 8 units. So always bounce back. We're 1-0 today. We took Ryan Mountcastle over 1.5 total bases in the first game of the day. He hit a home run in the 3rd inning, easily cashed that sweat-free. I have another play posted. I posted this at 2 in the morning. This is why it pays to be a premium member. At betkarma.com/pricing is where you can sign up. I gave out the Twins-Yankees over 8 runs at +100. I dropped this at 2 a.m. It has since moved to -115 on the over 8.5. Really, really good pitching weather in New York tonight, 80-plus degrees. Wind, like 10-mile-an-hour winds blowing straight out. You were a day off with that home run prediction. All right, so this is what happens for everyone watching this. This has been a thing for like the last 4 years. It's very, very common if I make a home run call and they go like hitless or they absolutely suck, they always hit a home run the next day. Always. It's been an insane, it's been like 3 years of this happening. So I am not surprised at all that Ryan Mountcastle hit a home run today after doing absolutely nothing last night. Who did we bet on yesterday? Pete Alonso, we were right on. Who was the other person? Goldschmidt. I bet Paul Goldschmidt yesterday. He didn't do anything. Well, he did not do anything. He actually had a decent game. So I take that back. I did write my home run article for today, though. I gave out 2 home run picks. Go check that out, betkarma.com. That's free. I'm going to pull up the live trends tool and we'll go through here. I do have an MLB play I'm going to give out, and I think you guys should bet this. I think this line is going to move down. So I think I'll give it out here quickly. I think you guys should bet this. Let me look. Let me see if it's moved down yet. Also, somehow the Rays were losing. They're now back up 8-3. What are they, 13? Are they going to be 13-0? This is insane. Absolutely insane. Okay, it didn't move down yet. I think this might move down to 8.5. go bet right now. So this is my MLB play for today. Let me pull up the live trends tool here. If you've never seen this tool, this is a live trends tool, free every single day at betcomer.com. You can get access to bet percentage, handle percentage, sharp money percentage. We're the only company that gives us information out for free. It's a very, very useful tool. It's the first thing I look at the night before or the morning of whenever I wake up to break down the slate. The bet I'm going to give out for today to all of you people, we are taking the under 9 runs in this Brewers-Padres game. You can see small amount of sharp money coming in on the under. It was actually sharp money on the over when this game opened, and I don't know why. I posted in our Discord like 40 minutes ago. I don't know why people were betting the over on this game. It is horrific hitting weather in San Diego tonight. There are slight winds blowing out, but it's like 50 degrees. It's freezing cold in San Diego today, and it's very, very good pitching weather. On top of the good pitching weather, we have a bullpen game for the Brewers, and all of their best relievers have not thrown since like Sunday night. They're fully rested and healthy. So we'll say like a top 3 bullpen in all of baseball, fully rested for a bullpen game. That's a nightmare matchup for the Padres. On the opposite side, the Padres, Nick Martinez isn't great, and the Brewers have been pretty hot offensively. But on the backside, the Padres bullpen also is pretty rested up. They're big dogs, Hader, all these guys. They'll be able to throw tonight 100%. So I think that coupled with the pitching weather, I think it's a really good recipe for an under 9. So we're taking the under 9 runs, Brewers, Padres. That's my favorite bet today. And I want to give that out because I do think I could see that moving down maybe to 8.5 by the time the game starts. It opened at 8. It went up to 9. I think it's going to come back down to like 8.5. They'll probably admit a little bit. But like I said, if you guys have any questions, this is going to be a shorter stream because there's just not much to talk about today. We can look at the basketball games for tomorrow, but I mean, obviously, I'll be on the stream tomorrow to talk about that a little bit. Early lines for tomorrow's playing games. We have Bulls plus 5.5 in Miami against the Heat, and we have Oklahoma City plus 5 in Minnesota against the Timberwolves. Do you guys, anyone in chat, do you guys have early leans on these games? Everybody in the chat yesterday was on the Bulls. The Bulls won outright. I said that I was going to put a small sprinkle on Oklahoma City because I was rooting for them to win. Happy that they won. I think the Thunder are a really fun team, and I'm glad that they're competing. Any surprises for you last night in the NBA? I didn't really bet on anything other than that small dabble on OKC. Not really surprised. I don't know. I wasn't like a huge fan of the Raptors. Now, I was surprised that it was in Toronto and they got out to a nice lead and they allowed the Bulls to come back. Can we talk about the secret weapon of DeMar DeRozan's daughter? I mean, what a performance out of DeMar's daughter. I mean, you can't tell me that she didn't play a part in them missing that many free throws. That was the most obnoxious screaming I've ever heard. And on top of the obnoxious screaming, the pure just commitment out of her to do it every single time. That was amazing. And I think it's like a win-win situation because what are they going to say? Like, what are the people at the arena going to say? If it was like an adult male or even an adult woman, I'm sure somebody would say something to them. But it's like a 7-year-old girl. Like, you can't say anything to her, you know? So it was just a genius strategy because she could be so obnoxiously loud that it it sounded so weird that it did distract them. And there's nothing that anyone can say. Foolproof plan from the Bulls to deploy that strategy last night. In my opinion, Dallas and Toronto need to apologize to their fans for giving up. I agree. I think that you can look at it. So here's the deal. I think when you look at the Dallas Mavericks, right? When they made that trade, I mean, they were firmly in the playoff picture in the West. And I think that on one hand, when you sit back in a chair like I'm sitting right now, and you look at the grand scheme of things, and you're like, yeah, Dallas, like it makes sense for them to lose because they don't have to give up their pick, and they're probably not going to have Kyrie next year anyways, so they avoid the double whammy of losing the player that they traded for, and also giving up the pick. Like me sitting in my chair right now, it makes sense for me to see why they lost and why they tanked like they did. But exactly what you're saying there in the chat, they should apologize to the fans. I'm not a Dallas Mavericks fan, so it's easy for me to say that. But we need to understand that there are a lot of Dallas Maverick fans. There are a lot of Dallas Maverick season ticket holders that went to the games all season long. And to see their team do that in the last game of the season when they still have a chance to get in the playoffs, it definitely probably is disheartening as a fan to watch that 100%. And to make the argument of like, oh, well, they don't have a chance to win anything anyways. Like, I don't think that's a fair argument to make because if you're a season ticket holder of the Dallas Mavericks, you don't really care if they have a chance to win or not. Like, you want to go to the playoff games, man, even if it's only one series. Like, you spent your money on the season tickets. You've went to the games all year. Like, you want to go to the playoff games. So I'm 100% on your side of that. They should apologize to the fans. I think it's embarrassing that they did that. And if you like, even though I can understand why they did it in terms of keeping the pick, you take on those consequences when you make a trade like that. When you make a huge trade like that, when you're already rolling with your team, you face the consequences that you've set up for yourself. So I'm on your side. To whoever said that in chat, I agree. They should apologize to their fans. I think it's embarrassing. I think it's sickening that they did that. And I feel bad for Dallas Maverick fans, 100%. Denver and Memphis are like the weakest number 1 and 2 seeds we've seen. I agree with that. You take it one step further. I know like they didn't have a chance of facing the Kings because it's the 6th seed, but this is like the weakest 1, 2, and 3 seeds we've seen in a while. I mean, the 3-seeded Kings are plus 200 underdogs to the 6-seeded Warriors in their series, and the Memphis Grizzlies are barely favored to beat the Lakers. I mean, the Lakers are only plus 116 to win the series. The Grizzlies are like minus 130. So I agree. These teams aren't bulletproof. You could easily upset one of these teams in the West. I don't see how. I think that we could see chaos in the West, which I said this last week. The East, I don't see how it's not Memphis. I don't see how it's not Milwaukee and Boston. I will say, so in chat, does anyone think there's any team in the East that can threaten Milwaukee or Boston, or do you think it's just a collision course that those two teams are going to match up? Is there any team that you guys see potentially upsetting one of those teams? I'm not being biased when I say this. The only team I think that could do it is the Cavs. Yes, whoever said Cavs in chat, yes. The Cavs are the only team, and I don't even think it will happen. I think it's going to be Milwaukee and Boston. But if there's one team, I do think it's the Cavs. They're good enough defensively. Defense, people underrate. People say like, oh, nobody plays defense in the NBA, but you can go back 40 years and no team, like it's very, very rare. It's under 1% that a team will win the NBA Finals that's outside the top 6, 7, 8 in like team defense. Like playing defense does matter in the NBA playoffs. The Cavs number 1 defensive efficiency as a team. They play good enough defense. I think they're well-rounded enough. Like they have 2 really good big men. They have 2 very good guards. Donovan Mitchell can absolutely take over any playoff series. He's done it on the Utah Jazz before. He's averaged almost 40 points for a playoff series on the Jazz. So if there's any team that can do it, I do think it's the Cavs, but I still don't know if I'd bet on it. You can get pretty good odds on it. Like you can get the Cavs. Like I don't think Philly. I really don't think Philly. I'm curious to see how Philly plays in the playoffs. But I don't think Philly. I still will take Boston or Milwaukee over Philly. I think how the bracket sets up, it's going to be Philly and Boston, right? And then assuming they both win their series, it'll be Philly, Boston, and then assuming they both win their series, it'll be Milwaukee, Cleveland, I think. I would still take Boston over Philadelphia. Although Embiid, man, I do think, Embiid's going to get his all the time, but that'll be a fun series. I still would take Boston. Cavs at plus 1,800 to win the East definitely has value. That's the best value bet left of all these teams, I think. They're plus 4,600 to win the title. I'm not sure Embiid is due when they start playing every other night. Yeah, that's the concern. And then I don't know. I mean, I've kind of been a James Harden defender, but he has struggled at times in the playoffs, like pretty severely. I think that's a factor. I mean, Jaylen. I people hate on the Celtics, man. They really, really do. But Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are killers, man. If you get them in a playoff series, like they're gonna be tough to beat. Like those dudes both can just take over. And they have like good depth. Like Malcolm Brogdon, amazingly good sixth man. I like their front court. You know, Horford's old, but he still does what he does. Robert Williams, I think, is really good. They have some really nice pieces. Derek White, I think, is an underrated player. He hasn't been playing well recently, but the Celtics, top to bottom, are really, really good. And Tatum and Brown can both just take over. And I do think there's some motivation factor that Boston got so close last year. I think they were up 2-0 in the finals, right? And lost. Like, definitely some extra motivation for them, I think. So I definitely would take them over Philly. I'll probably be betting them over Philly, depending on what the series price is, should we get that matchup. Cavs are the only value I see. I don't really see any values in the West. I mean, the Warriors are pretty steamed up there, plus 320 to win the conference. I don't like that. I guess Memphis at plus 700 has a little value, or whoever you think wins the Lakers-Grizzlies series has a little bit of value. Who do you guys got for Grizzlies-Lakers? If the Lakers looked better against the Wolves, I'd be picking them, but I'm kind of like 50-50 now. I mean, I've been saying for weeks that they can beat the Grizzlies in a series, but they looked so bad against Minnesota, like I'm concerned. Did LeBron look winded versus Minnesota? I don't think he looked winded. I don't think he looked winded. He didn't play bad. Like, he still got his. I don't think he played like playoff LeBron normally does. I mean, he had a couple blocks. But I mean, I feel like he didn't really do much in the first quarter. He came out hot in the second quarter. He hit that three towards the end of the game. That was big. So I don't think he looked winded, but I don't think he played as good as he can. I do think he got to, he had the injury, obviously, but he got to rest a little bit more prior to the playoffs than in some years. I like the Lakers. I still would lean Lakers, I think, as well. But, we'll see. We'll see what happens. It should be a fun series. I like just the narrative because, they kind of had like some bad chemistry early on in the season, and now they're going to match up in a playoff series. I think that's fun. So I would slightly lean Lakers as well. I agree with you, but I think whoever wins that series has a little bit of value. But I don't see much value in the East other than maybe the Cavs. But I think it's pretty cut and dry. Bucks and Celtics. Nuggets, yeah, interesting that the Nuggets have third best odds. They're behind the Warriors. to win the West. I just don't know if they have a good enough team. I mean, people hate on Nikola Jokic. I still think he's the best player in the NBA, and he has amazing playoff numbers, but I don't think the team is good enough around him. I really don't. What coach is on the hot seat? Well, a couple teams have already fired their coaches. I think that if the Cavs lose this playoff series to the Knicks, if the Cavs lose to the Knicks, JB Bickerstaff, I think, has a decent chance to get fired. Even with, how good they've been the last 2 years. They've had a couple rough patches. They had a rough patch earlier this year, but the game, the Cavs are still very young, but the game changes a little bit. When you make a trade like they did for Donovan Mitchell, that's a move to compete. That's not a move like, oh, we're going to wait and, we're going to develop these guys. Like, that's a move to win. Even if I don't think they could win the title, really. I think if they got embarrassed in this playoff series against the Knicks, I think that I think JB Bickerstaff could get fired. I don't know. Anyone else in the East? I'm not sure. The Lakers always, their coach will always be on the hot. Like, Darvin Ham is just always on the hot seat just because it's the Lakers and it's LeBron. I feel like if you're the coach of a LeBron-led team, you're just always on the hot seat. It really doesn't matter what you do. I think Tyronn Lue's like a decent coach, and he literally won a title, and they got rid of him. So I would, the Lakers coach will always be on the hot seat. Warriors, they're not going to make any moves. Suns, no. Nuggets, no. Grizzlies, I doubt. Clippers, I doubt they move on from Ty Lue. Bulls coach, I don't know. I'm kind of in and out on Donovan. I don't think he's a bad coach, but he's on his second NBA job, right? He was with the Thunder. They fired him. He went to the Bulls. Doc Rivers definitely is on the hot seat, yes. Doc Rivers is like, I don't know. Is there any more, is there a bigger liar in the NBA than Doc Rivers? This guy he has to be the most overrated coach, I feel like. Just perennial playoff letdown after letdown, and he still gets these high profile paid jobs. So yes, I agree. Doc Rivers on the hot seat. I'm not sure on Billy Donovan. I don't know. Maybe. I feel like maybe if the Bulls can pull this upset tomorrow, beat the Heat, and get in, maybe that helps the case a little bit. Spoelstra, I don't think is on the hot seat, just because even if the Heat lose again tomorrow, I feel like he's too good of a coach, and the track record speaks for itself. But Knicks coach, yeah, Thibodeau maybe. Thibodeau's kind of like the Knicks are kind of like the Lakers in that it's like if you're on a LeBron team, your coach is always on the hot seat. If you coach the Knicks, you're just always on the hot seat. If the Knicks got similar to the Cavs, I think if the Cavs get embarrassed by the Knicks, Bickerstaff could get fired. If the Knicks got swept or something, which I don't think that'll happen, I think it's going to go 6 or 7. But if the Knicks got swept by the Cavs, yeah, he could get fired for sure. He could get fired for sure. It'll be interesting to see. Any baseball bets for today? Yeah, if you guys are joining late, I gave out my favorite MLB pick for tonight is Milwaukee, San Diego under 9 runs for the full game. I like that play tonight. I kind of went over why I liked it. You can go back and rewatch after the stream. Don't really have anything else. I posted one other bet last night for today, but the line moved so much that I wouldn't bet it. And I bet one other play. It was like a parlay, but it has the Brewers Padres under in it. So I wouldn't really be looking to take that. I'm not sure. I'm going to look at some props after the stream. I'll pull up the predictor here and see if there's any props I like. We are 1-0 on props today with Mountcastle, but I don't know if there's anything. I know there's no strikeouts that I liked because I looked into the strikeouts. Lodolo's line's too high. I know he just struck out 12 Phillies in his last start. But I think early on in the year, I actually think early on in the season of baseball, when you see a team twice in a row, I actually think that's more of a negative to the pitcher than anything because the team just saw your stuff, 4 days ago. And, I mean, Nick Lodolo is one of the best pitchers in baseball, young pitchers in baseball. He has dominant strikeout stuff. He has a legitimate case to lead the major leagues in. He's definitely probably going to lead in strikeouts per 9 innings, I think. If he pitched enough innings, he could lead in strikeouts overall, but I don't know if he's going to be able to hit the innings threshold that someone like Garrett Cole does. But, I mean, he's a dominant strikeout pitcher. But I think it's like I don't think he's going to suck today. But I think it's more of a positive for the Phillies than it is Lodolo that they just saw his stuff 4 days ago. So I don't really want to touch a 7.5 line for him, even though I think he can go over that. Nick Martinez, I don't like to bet on bad pitchers, so that's a no for me. Spencer Turnbull's a no. Joe Ryan under might have a little value. Let me confirm what his line is here on FanDuel. It's 5.5. I mean, 5.5 is like a low line. Joe Ryan is a good strikeout pitcher. He just gets beat by power, which is why I'm concerned with how good the weather is. He gives up fly balls and power, and it's hot with the wind blowing out there. So the Yankees definitely have a powerful lineup, but 5.5 is a weird enough line. Like, it's low enough. I wouldn't bet the under, and I don't really want to take the over. So I don't really like any of these strikeout props today. I definitely can see betting the over on some of these Yankees guys. I mean, Judge is just in an amazing spot. He crushes right-handed pitching. He crushes all pitching. Crushes fastballs, crushes sliders. Joe Ryan, almost 85% of the time he throws fastball or slider. He really just throws those two pitches. So good matchup for him. Good matchup for Rizzo. Predictor loved the Orioles guys today. Obviously, they have 7 runs. It was a great spot. I don't really love anything here. Joe Ryan under 16.5 outs might have some value. I don't hate that. That might be the favorite pitching prop I've seen so far. I could see him going 5 against the Yankees if they hit a couple out against him. I could see that. But yeah, not a love I like. Judge over 1.5 total bases is definitely fine, I think. For sure. The Rays are up 9-3 now. This team is never going to lose. They're just going 162-0. Home run picks? Yeah. I wrote the article today with 2. You can go read that for free, betkarma.com. Click the MLB tab. It's right there. I don't want to give them away. Go read the article. I actually really like both of them. If you guys have any other questions on any props tonight, go ahead and ask. If not, I'll be in Discord all day. You can get in betkarmachat.com. Download the BetKarma app. Click the chat room link. That will take you to the Discord link as well. You can see all the free channels. If you want to see the premium channels, you want to get access to my bets and the predictor, which you see on your screen, you can sign up for a membership. Try us out for a month. You can always cancel if you don't like it, but most people that have signed up have really, really liked it. Thank you for watching the stream. I truly appreciate it. Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern, you'll find me here talking about the best bets for the day. I'll be back tomorrow, Friday, 3 o'clock. We're going to close out the week strong. Hopefully we have a good night tonight. 1-0 today, bets. Hopefully this under smacks in this late game. and we have a good night tonight. And then we got basketball tomorrow and a better baseball slate. So tomorrow's going to be a good day. I'll have a couple bets to hand out. 3 p.m. Join up tomorrow. Good luck with your bets tonight, guys. I'll see you guys on Friday.